Meeting of the City Council to order and ask that you all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Tamer, please call the roll.
Park.
Here.
Udera.
Here.
Estido.
Here.
Nardini.
Here.
Brennan. Absent. Irby.
Here.
Deuter.
Here.
Varimus.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
Schenko. Here. Jensen.
Here.
Graham.
Here.
Cahill.
Here.
Toludo.
Here.
13 present, 1 absent.
13 present, 1 absent. We have a quorum. Item 3, receipt of written communications from the public. Is there any member of the public that has a written communication that they would like to present to the council? If so, please raise your hand. We see none. Moving on to public forum. Clerk Tamer, has anyone signed up for public forum this evening?
Yes, Mayor. We have Tom Cruz.
Mr. Cruz, if you would approach the mic. If you have public comment tonight, sir? I do. All right, if you take that microphone, sort of the rear one there, you have 3 minutes. State your name, and address is optional. Okay. Thank you.
My name is Thomas Cruz. I live at 868 Sailor. I gotta put my glasses on. My name is Tom, and I live in Elmhurst. My wife and I have lived in Elmhurst since 1987. It's a special place, and we have raised 3 great kids here. I'd like to thank the mayor and the alderwomen and aldermen for leading this wonderful city. Okay, do I think our property taxes are high? Maybe. Can they be reduced? Maybe. We need to look at our costs and expenses. Questions: do we need all of our police and public works members? I don't know. Sometimes I'll be driving down the street and there are 2 police cars behind me. Maybe they're both going for coffee. I don't know. Do we need 160 village vehicles? Maybe not. Could we institute raffles and a lottery to make money that could go directly to lower our taxes? Can we try a pilot program to gauge its effectiveness? Maybe yes. I'd like to ask a question to everyone in this room. What is power? What is real power? I think power is taking care of our families and loved ones. Power is paying our bills on time and not living beyond our means. Real power is restoring a balance between our representatives and taxpayers. We cannot and should not keep kicking the can down the road for future residents to deal with. We all need to live within our means. We need to stop raising our property taxes, in my opinion. And finally, we need to start thinking about new and innovative ways to raise money. Try raffles, lotto games, and any other legitimate ways to raise money. Try them on a small basis first. Thanks for listening to me.
Thank you, sir. Has anyone else signed in?
Jim Hodap.
Yes, I have sent some information to Emily Bastido and the mayor that the code violations, which I'm due to go to court, actually I don't fall under that category. I fall under another code, 613-14, which protects my lawn because it's a natural prairie. So I'm hoping the Wildflower Lawn National Park doesn't look like it's going to get off the ground, but and Jack Schuba said you can't donate the land and keep your house. I'd be willing to donate the land and the house as long as I could live there until I either pass on or go on. So anyway, but if I can't do that, I'd like to be able to sell my house on a prairie. It's a McDougal. My father was a friend of McDougal. My father was a card player, and he met McDougal at the Elmhurst Elks Club, and my father was a poker genius. And I'm sure he took McDougal to the, every time I played him, he did. You could never beat my father. But he he got to pick McDougal's best lot, and it's the best built McDougal in Elmhurst. So I'd like to be able to sell my house as the real McDougal on a real prairie, and get the blessing of the village. And if I could donate it somehow, so that, you know, the yard was a nature preserve and the house was the, you know, the national headquarters, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm going to have to sell it to someone who's interested in native landscape. And I think I could sell the house for a great deal more. I don't think people are very interested in chem lawns. And when they rehab houses in my area, they come up and scoop up all the black soil and they bring in God knows what. So I'm not sure the land is safe in some places. Anyway, I've been asked to bust a little flow before I go. So wait, can I tickety-tack? My name's Hodap. I'm still on top and I still rap better than Pac, but wait, I'd like to sell my house as the real McDougal on a real prairie, you know, in a real town called E-Town, Emily Town. She's the best of all the rest, the alderman that passed the test, and yes, I must confess, her destiny has finally manifest. I know my flow don't make no sense, but yo, I jumped the crazy fence when I moved to this town, so here I go, wickety-woe, tic-tac, my name's Hodap, and I'm the god of rap. Peace!
Thank you, Mr. Hodat. Is anyone?
That's it.
All right. Is there anyone in the audience who did not have an opportunity to sign in for public forum but would like to take that opportunity now? If so, raise your hand. Seeing none, we move on to item 5, announcements. Are there any announcements from the dais? There being none, I will ask Clerk Tamer to please move on to item 6 and read the consent agenda.
6.1, minutes of the executive session meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on July 17th, 2023. 6.2, minutes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on July 17th, 2023. 6.3, accounts payable, August 7th, 2023, $2,282,965.95. 6.4, reappointment of Shornage and Holub for the Library Board. 6.5, appointment of Burke to the Library Board. 6.6, referral, safe routes to school sidewalk funding. 6.7, report purchasing policy. 6.8, Metropolitan Family Services Memorandum of Understanding. 6.9, report intergovernmental agreement with Elmhurst School District 205 for relocation of outdoor warning siren. 6.10, report deaccession artifacts from the Elmhurst History Museum collection. 6.11, report neighborhood traffic study, areas 2 and 3. See item 8.1. 6.12, an ordinance granting a variation for the property commonly known as 311 North York Street, Elmhurst, Illinois, 60126. 6.13, an ordinance granting a conditional use permit for a planned unit development for the construction of a health sciences facility upon property commonly known as 190 South Prospect Avenue, Elmhurst, Illinois, Elmhurst University. 6.14, an ordinance granting a conditional use permit and associated variation for the property commonly known as 977 South Route 83 and 968 South Riverside Drive, Elmhurst, Illinois. 6.15, an ordinance to correct a Scrivener's error to repeal ordinance number 029-2023 and to waive bid and authorize the purchase of one Ford Transit 250 utility van for the use by the City of Elmhurst Utilities Division. 6.16, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of one Kubota KX057 excavator and authorizing the disposal of a 2006 series loader backhoe and 2006 Case 570 MXT wheel loader. 6.17, ordinance authorizing the purchase of one Towmaster T14D 16000 GVW trailer and authorizing the disposal of a 1998 Towmaster T24 trailer. 6.18, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of one VACCon Titan G2 combination truck and authorizing the disposal of a 2009 VAC truck hydro excavation truck, a jetter truck, and a jetter trailer. 6.19, whoops, I went too far, hold on.
Oh, you're there.
6.19, an ordinance waiving bid and authorizing the purchase of a trackless MT tractor and authorizing the disposal of a 2003 trackless model MTSTD. 6.20, an ordinance waiving bid and authorizing the issuance of a purchase order for the purchase of replacement cutter stacks for grinders at 4 sanitary lift stations. 6.21, an ordinance declaring surplus property and authorizing the disposal of the surplus property fire department equipment. 6.22, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and authorizing the execution of a contract for the purchase of a 2023 fire hydrant materials. 6.23, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of change order number 2 for the McKinley Stormwater Pump Station Rehabilitation Project. 6.24, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and authorizing the execution of a contract for the streetlight controller upgrades project. 6.25, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Concentric Integration LLC for the integration of lift station operator interface terminals project. 6.26, a resolution authorizing the purchase of 6 mobile hoist columns, 4 heavy-duty jack stands, and 1 pneumatic wheel lift. 6.27, a resolution authorizing the issuance of notices of award and authorizing the execution of contracts for police-directed towing services.
Thank you. Clerk Tamer, is there any item on the consent agenda that any alderman would like to remove, to either vote against or for further discussion? Alderman Irby.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to pull item 6.7, purchasing policy, please.
6.7, any other items? Alderman Toledo.
Oh, I just was going to support that.
All right. Any other items? Okay. You can have a motion to pass the consent agenda minus item 6.7. Alderman Deuter with a motion. Alderman Vramis with a second. Clerk Tamer.
Park?
Aye.
Nudera?
Aye.
Bastido?
Aye.
Nardini?
Aye.
Brennan, absent. Irby?
Aye.
Deuter?
Aye.
Varimus?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Schenko?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
Cahill?
Aye.
Toledo?
Aye.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent.
13 ayes, 0 nay, 1 absent. The consent agenda minus item 6.7 is passed. Clerk Tamer, please read the report for 6.7.
It is therefore the recommendation of the Finance, Council Affairs, and Administrative Services Committee that the City Council direct the City Attorney to prepare the necessary ordinance to amend certain sections of the municipal code so that they are consistent with the purchasing policy. Signed, Alderman Noel Toledo, Chair, Alderman Jim Nudera, Alderman Chris Jensen, Vice Chair, and absent Alderman Rex Irby.
Thank you. May I have a motion to put 6.7 before the council? Alderman Toledo, second. Alderman Jensen. Alderman Toledo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item 6.7 is a report from our Finance Committee to present to the council a consolidated and improved purchasing policy. I'd like to thank staff for their efforts on this. Director Coyle spearheaded this, probably had her eyes on it from the time she joined the city of Elmhurst. We had many different disparate policies. This is bringing everything together. It's adding best practices and clarifying some of the policies that we do have, providing staff with more operational procedures for day-to-day versus a very high-level policy that we had before. And it does recommend a couple of changes. As we note, kind of laid out in the report, there are 4 main categories. I'll just point out 2 that I think are important to note. First off, we are increasing various employee levels for approval in terms of their purchasing limits, dollar amounts. The one of note, of course, is the highest. Our city manager will be moving from an approval level of $25,000 without city council's approval to a level of $50,000 without city council's approval. And this is in line with increases in CPI since 2006, I believe, as well as other communities of our size that have a similar level of approval limits for the city manager. Secondly, we did enhance the connection between our sustainability policy that was passed by the City Council in 2019 with the purchasing policy. so that we are encouraging sustainable purchasing practices as long as they are consistent with the cost over the useful life of the asset. Additionally, one of our aldermen did notice a couple of grammatical errors and a couple of text inconsistencies. Thank you, Alderman Nardini, for pointing those out. We will modify those. They are not material to the policy itself. We can go ahead and approve the report tonight. We will work with Director Coyle and the finance staff to address those offline. And with that, I will turn it over to my colleague on the Finance Committee, Alderman Irby.
Thank you, Chairman Tualudo. Since I was not at the last committee meeting where we did the signature phase of the report, I would like to just make a couple of comments. So since that point, we've incorporated the sustainability, and it properly gives deference to the sustainability policy that is a dedicated section in the purchasing policy, in that section on purchase policy within the sustainability policy. They are now linked together. As the chair mentioned, there's new verbiage in there on sustainability where it says it's consistent with cost over the useful life of the asset. We should always look at the total cost of ownership in all our purchase decisions, not just upfront capital outlays, but also properly weigh increased life expectancies and their annual repair and maintenance costs over their respective useful lives. As I mentioned, not being present, I appreciate the effort that Director Coyle and her staff spent. They spent a great amount of time and care skillfully drafting this comprehensive update of the purchasing policy. A recommendation was made subsequently for the sustainability, and it was added, and I appreciate that among my team for agreeing to that in my absence. I'm very grateful for that. In conclusion, I am for the purchasing policy tonight. It has been strengthened with greater clarity, materially enhances our checks and balances from the previous version. This policy allows a higher dollar threshold that Chair Tualudo mentioned, and that is coupled or countered with our ability to the director to have more autonomy and accountability. So with those two pieces, I encourage the other city council members to vote in the affirmative for the new purchasing policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Irby. Additional discussion. Clerk Tamer, please call the roll.
Park? Aye. Nudera?
Aye.
Bastido?
Aye.
Nardini?
Aye.
Brennan, absent. Irby?
Aye.
Deuter?
Aye.
Verimus? Aye. Hill?
Aye.
Schenko? Aye. Jensen?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
Cahill?
Aye.
Toledo?
Aye.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent. Item 6.7 passes. On to item 7, reports and recommendations of appointed elected officials. Mayor Levin, I have 4 items. I attended Public Safety Night Out, and I thank our police, fire, and public works for a great evening. State Senator Glowiak was there. As you know, she was instrumental in helping us with a grant for a new fire truck that is needed, and she was there to meet a number of the people from our various departments. Item 2, if you know an outstanding senior who volunteers within any organization, the Elmhurst Senior Commission is now looking for nominations for Outstanding Senior Citizen Award nominees. Nominees must be Elmhurst residents living within the city of Elmhurst boundaries. The award is focused on individual achievements for organizations, and the service provided must be voluntary and unpaid. The services have to occur between August 31st of 22 and now. The nominations will be accepted through the end of the month, and the commission will coordinate review and selection of the outstanding senior citizen by a panel of independent judges. And then everyone, all of us, and the public will be invited to the City of Elmhurst Service Award program at City Hall on November 9th, 2023, so don't fill up your calendars yet. Item 3, Scoops with Sparky is coming to your neighborhood. Sparky, our fire mascot, will be making his Remaining stops throughout Elmhurst this Saturday, August 5th. I feel like we're past that. Yeah, time travel. You can find them coming up in the future, looking at our website and dates that will be posted there. There's still a few left. Lastly, I was able to attend the pep rally for Elmhurst Youth Baseball's 12U Little League team. They won state championship. We've never had a state championship from the city of, state champion from the city of Elmhurst in Little League. They went and beat Indiana in the regional tournament. So I think they were happier about beating Hinsdale, to tell you the truth. But and tonight they're playing against Ohio. If they win, they will go on to the finals, I guess, or semifinals. Jackie, do we have the updated score?
I just looked and I did not receive anything updated.
I believe they were winning at last 7-3. So another remarkable sports achievement for these people here in Elmhurst. That is all I have, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. As we all know, summertime is a busy construction season for us, and this year seems to be extra busy with road closures. So I want to thank all the residents' patience while we not only pave new streets, but we have the gas main project in the southeast area of town, and then we've had a couple railroad closures, and we have two that I want to highlight that are currently happening. That's on Spring Road, where the single track, the CN track, crosses. The detours are in place. That's closed this week for a complete reconstruction of that crossing, which was badly needed. They completed the crossing on St. Charles in front of York High School last week, and I drove over today, and that's a very welcomed addition. And a second closing that is happening coming up August 14th, and it'll be a 2-week closure. That's Vallette as it goes underneath 290 and 294. That's for tollway construction. They have to assemble a crane for some of their work. And so we've been working with the Village of Berkeley and the tollway. So that'll be closed in both directions, so Electric Avenue and Vallette. And so we're encouraging people to use St. Charles as their alternate there. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Any other reports and recommendations? Clerk Tamer, resolutions, please read Resolution 8.1.
A resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement between the City of Elmhurst and Koenig, Lindgren, O'Hara, Abuna, Inc. for a neighborhood traffic study areas number 2 and 3. See item 6.11.
I may have a motion to put item 8.1 before the council. Motion, Alderman Hill. Second, Alderman Nardini. Alderman Hill.
Thank you. So we're asking the council to suspend the rules on item 8.1 because of the timing of the proposal detailed in consent agenda item 6.11 would require us to begin data collection for traffic study areas 2 and 3 fairly soon in September, and we'd want to have all tasks completed by December so we can collate the data and generate a final report. So that's why we're asking that the rules be suspended.
Thank you, Alderman Hill. Any additional discussion on this topic? All right, there being none, Clerk Tamer, please call the roll on 8.1.
Park?
Aye.
Nudera?
Aye.
Bastido?
Aye.
Nardini?
Aye.
Brennan, absent. Irby?
Aye.
Deuter?
Aye.
Varimus?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Schenko?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
Cahill?
Aye.
Toledo?
Aye.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent. Resolution 8.1 is adopted. Item 9, other business. Is there any other business to be brought before the council this evening? There being none, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn. Alderman Braham. Second, Alderman Cahill. Clerk Tamer, roll call, please.
Park?
Aye.
Nudera?
Aye.
Bastido?
Aye.
Nardini?
Aye.
Brennan? Absent. Irby?
Aye.
Deuter?
Aye.
Varimus?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Schenko?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
Cahill?
Aye.
Toledo?
Aye.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent. We are adjourned. Thank you all.